Okay, I hope you can hear me. So, good day, passengers. This is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard our Concorde flight from London to JFK, while we're still at the gate. I'm pleased to announce that we've prepared some exclusive treats for you today, including caviar, champagne, and more. Thank you for choosing to fly with us. Sit back, relax, and get ready for an unforgettable journey. Okay, push back, please. Today, as we fly, we'll dive into the fascinating story of the Concorde. This iconic supersonic airliner wasn't just a plane, it was a marvel of innovation and speed. We'll explore its groundbreaking technology, remarkable history, and the legacy it left in aviation. So, sit back, relax, and join me as we journey into the captivating world of the Concorde. During our flight today, we'll be sharing some fascinating stories about the Concorde, the legendary supersonic passenger jet that revolutionized air travel. We'll explore its rich history, the technological innovations that allowed it to fly at twice the speed of sound, and the impact it had on connecting the world. From its elegant design to the challenges it overcame, the Concorde remains a symbol of human ingenuity. These insights will be presented throughout our journey, and I believe you'll find them both informative and engaging. Thank you for flying with us today, and we hope you enjoy learning about this remarkable aircraft as we make our way to our destination. As we continue our journey, you'll have the opportunity to delve deeper into the world of the Concorde. Our team has prepared engaging content that highlights its groundbreaking achievements, from setting speed records across the Atlantic to the sophisticated technology that allowed it to cruise at Mach 2. We'll also touch on the challenges it faced, including the engineering feats required to overcome issues like sonic booms and high-altitude flight. These stories aim to not only inform but also inspire, showcasing what can be accomplished with innovation and determination. Feel free to engage with our crew if you have any questions or if there's anything we can do to enhance your experience. We appreciate your attention and hope that this glimpse into aviation history adds a unique dimension to your flight today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We are currently taxiing to the runway, so please make sure that your seatbelts are fastened, that all carry-on luggage is securely stowed away. For today's flight, we have lined up an interesting series for our in-flight entertainment air crash investigations. It's an intriguing choice, I admit. But do not worry, it is strictly for entertainment purposes. We certainly do not plan on starring in any episodes. As we prepare for takeoff, I want to assure you that our crew is highly qualified. However, if you notice that we are circling around, it is just our unique way of touring the airport before we take to the skies. No extra charge. We'll delve into the history of aviation incidents beyond the Concorde, exploring how these events have influenced modern safety protocols. By reflecting on past challenges, we aim to understand the lessons learned and how they've led to advancements in technology and procedures. These discussions highlight the industry's ongoing commitment to safety and innovation. We hope this broader perspective enriches your experience during our flight today. Now, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. We'll provide updates and share interesting stories along the way. If there's anything we can do to enhance your experience, please let us know. Thank you for flying with us today. Break in park position. So, my passengers. Hello everyone. My name is Callan, and welcome to this incredible journey where we're about to take flight aboard the legendary Concorde. In just a few minutes, we'll embark on an adventure like no other, exploring the supersonic skies and experiencing the marvel of aviation history. To build up the excitement, let's start a countdown together from 5 minutes. Feel free to settle in, prepare your questions, and maybe even grab a drink. This is going to be something truly special. So, let's start counting down. 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes until takeoff. At this point, picture yourself standing on the runway, gazing up at the Concorde as it towers before you, with its sleek delta wings and iconic pointed nose. The Concorde's design is one of a kind, setting it apart from any other aircraft. This is your chance to witness aviation history come alive. It's not just any flight. It's a journey at speeds faster than sound. So, get ready to experience something that few people in the world have ever had the chance to enjoy. Our journey into the sky begins soon. 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes left. Now imagine stepping aboard, feeling the rush of excitement. Take a deep breath and imagine the scent of luxury leather seats, polished wood, and a quiet hum from the engines in the distance. On Concorde, passengers were treated like royalty, from VIP lounges to first-class service. Think of the legends who flew on this aircraft. Celebrities, world leaders, and visionaries sitting where we'll imagine ourselves today. In just a few short minutes, you'll get to see what made this aircraft such an exclusive and elite experience. The adventure is almost here. Three minutes to go. 3 minutes until we reach supersonic speeds. Imagine the crew making last-minute preparations, double-checking every detail. The Concorde was a masterpiece of engineering, and every flight required meticulous care. Right now, the flight crew would be preparing for the monumental task of lifting this bird into the sky at speeds beyond Mach 2. Just 3 minutes to go until we get to dive into the world of supersonic travel, to learn about every sound, every view, and every part of this incredible journey. Two minutes to go. Just 2 minutes left. Now, you'd be buckled in, feeling the anticipation building. Picture the engines revving up as the pilots communicate with air traffic control. aligning the plane for takeoff. You'd feel a buzz in the air, a sense of something momentous about to happen. Right now, let your imagination take you to that runway, feeling the incredible power beneath you, ready to burst forward. We're just moments away from beginning this countdown to history. Get ready for an unforgettable journey. One minute to go, only 1 minute left. We're almost there. In just a moment, we'll be zooming down the runway, lifting off into the sky, and reaching unbelievable speeds. This is your last chance to grab your seat and join in as we embark on an adventure that defies gravity and stretches across continents. Feel the final surge of excitement as we get ready to take off, like passengers would have felt, holding their breath before one of the fastest journeys across the Atlantic. We're about to launch into the legend, ready for takeoff. The moment is here. Our countdown has reached 0, and it's time to take flight on this epic journey. Sit back, relax, and let's explore the skies like never before. Aboard the Concorde, this is more than just a trip. It's a journey into history, speed, and technological wonder. Thank you for joining me, Kalen, for this once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Now, let's get started and dive into the world of supersonic flight. Welcome aboard this extraordinary journey on the legendary Concorde, where we will be flying from London Heathrow Airport, EGLL, to our destination at unprecedented speeds. Today, we invite you to experience the marvel of supersonic travel as we soar through the skies faster than a speeding bullet, breaking the sound barrier and cruising at altitudes and velocities unimaginable on conventional aircraft. Shortly after takeoff, the Concorde will ascend rapidly, utilizing its powerful Rolls-Royce Snecma Olympus 593 turbojet engines with afterburners. We will climb to an initial altitude of approximately 9,000 meters, 30,000 feet, where the aircraft will begin to accelerate. As we reach Mach 0.95, just below the speed of sound, the afterburners will ignite, pushing us past Mach 1 and into the realm of supersonic flight. You may notice a slight surge as we leave the subsonic world behind. Our cruising altitude will be an astounding 18,300 meters, 60,000 feet, nearly twice the altitude of regular commercial flights. At this height, we will be flying at the edge of the stratosphere, where the sky transitions to a deep, dark indigo, and the curvature of the Earth becomes distinctly visible. The thin atmosphere at this altitude reduces aerodynamic drag, allowing the Concorde to maintain its supersonic speed efficiently, while providing a smoother flight experience due to reduced air turbulence. We will cruise at a phenomenal speed of Mach 2.04, which is approximately 2,180 kilometers per hour, 1,354 miles per hour. This extraordinary speed means we will be covering over 36 kilometers, 22 miles, every minute. At this rate, we can cross the Atlantic Ocean in just over 3 hours, cutting the usual flight time by more than half. Imagine departing London and arriving in New York before you have even had time to finish a movie marathon. Our flight path will take us over the southern counties of England, passing landmarks such as the English Channel and the Cornish coast, before heading out over the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. Due to international noise regulations and concerns over sonic booms affecting populated areas, Concorde is permitted to exceed the speed of sound only once it is over the ocean. As we fly over the Atlantic, you will have the unique opportunity to witness the sun moving across the sky at an accelerated pace, potentially experiencing a sunset and sunrise within a single flight. depending on the time of day. Throughout our journey, the outside air temperature will plummet to around minus 57 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. However, the friction generated at these high speeds will cause the aircraft's exterior skin temperature to rise significantly, reaching up to 127 degrees Celsius, 261 degrees Fahrenheit. In some areas, this thermal expansion can cause the fuselage to extend by up to 23 centimeters, 9 inches. Rest assured, the Concorde is engineered to accommodate these changes, ensuring safety and comfort throughout the flight. As we approach our destination, we will begin our gradual descent and deceleration back to subsonic speeds before reaching land, in compliance with noise abatement procedures. The Concorde's iconic droop nose will lower to improve pilot visibility. During approach and landing, a distinctive feature that combines form with function. Prepare to be part of a rare and exhilarating experience that few have had the privilege to enjoy. This journey is not just about reaching a destination, it's about embracing the pinnacle of aviation achievement. So, sit back, relax, and let's make history together as we retrace the footsteps of aviation pioneers aboard the Supersonic Concorde, marveling at the technological wonder that brought continents closer together and redefined the boundaries of time and speed. As we take to the skies, let us bid farewell to the vibrant and historic city of London, which slowly recedes beneath us, leaving behind its iconic landmarks, winding streets, and centuries of stories. The River Thames glistens in the sunlight, weaving its way through the heart of the city, reflecting the life and movement of a bustling metropolis. In the distance, we can catch a final glimpse of Tower Bridge standing proudly, a symbol of resilience and architectural beauty. Beneath us, the patchwork of London neighborhoods spreads out like a tapestry. From the grandeur of Westminster with its towering Big Ben and the majestic Houses of Parliament, to the energy and excitement of the West End, known for its theaters and cultural attractions. Each district we leave behind tells its own unique story. And as we climb higher, these bustling areas transform into smaller patches, merging together into a panorama of England's capital. Our climb into the sky takes us past landmarks such as Buckingham Palace, the seat of British royalty, and the London Eye, standing tall as a modern sentinel, offering panoramic views of the city. Yet, today, we rise above even the highest viewpoints London has to offer, journeying into an experience few have ever known. As we ascend, imagine the vast cityscape giving way to the gentle English countryside, with its rolling fields and charming villages dotting the landscape. Soon, the urban sprawl fades, replaced by the greens and golds of the countryside, and the sound of the bustling city gives way to the quiet hum of the engines as we gain altitude. Now we soar higher still, and the Thames narrows to a silver ribbon, disappearing beneath the clouds as we begin our journey across the vast Atlantic Ocean. London, with its rich history, towering architecture, and spirited energy, fades from view, but the memory of this vibrant departure remains with us. Ahead lies a journey of unprecedented speed and elegance, taking us from the heart of England to the distant shores of North America, faster than any other journey of its kind. And with that, we leave London behind, embarking on a voyage that bridges continents, cultures, and worlds, in a way that only the legendary Concorde can. The Concorde was a marvel of aerospace engineering, representing a significant leap forward in supersonic passenger travel, designed jointly by British and French engineers. It incorporated cutting-edge technology to to achieve speeds and altitudes beyond those of conventional aircraft. One of the most remarkable features of the Concorde was its propulsion system. It was powered by 4 Rolls-Royce Sneckerman Olympus 593 turbojet engines, equipped with afterburners, also known as reheat in British terminology. These engines provided the necessary thrust to propel the aircraft beyond the speed of sound, reaching a maximum cruising speed of Mach 2.04, which is approximately 2,180 kilometers per hour, 1,354 miles per hour. The afterburners were used during takeoff and the transition to supersonic speeds, injecting additional fuel into the exhaust stream to produce extra thrust. The Concorde's aerodynamic design was also critical to its performance. It featured a slender delta wing configuration, which provided excellent stability and control at both supersonic and subsonic speeds. The wings had a highly swept leading edge, allowing for reduced drag and efficient lift generation at high velocities. The aircraft's overall length was 62.1 meters, 203 feet, and it had a wingspan of 25.6 meters, 84 feet. Another distinctive aspect of the Concorde was its variable geometry nose, commonly referred to as the droop nose. This mechanism allowed the nose section to be lowered during takeoff and landing to improve pilot visibility, and raised during flight to optimize aerodynamic efficiency. The nose could be lowered to angles of 5 degrees for takeoff and 12.5 degrees for landing. The Concorde was designed to cruise at an altitude of 18,300 meters, 60,000 feet, which is nearly twice the altitude of conventional commercial aircraft. At this elevation, the aircraft could take advantage of lower air density, reducing aerodynamic drag and allowing for more efficient supersonic travel. The high altitude also meant that passengers could see the curvature of the Earth and the darkness of space above. In terms of capacity, the Concorde could accommodate between 92 and 128 passengers, depending on the configuration, although most airlines opted for around 100 seats. To maximize comfort, the passenger cabin was relatively narrow, with 4 seats per row and a central aisle. Despite the limited space, the interior was designed to provide a luxurious experience, often featuring high-quality materials and attentive service. The aircraft structure was constructed primarily from aluminum alloys, selected for their strength and ability to withstand the thermal stresses associated with supersonic flight. Very strange. I think we are going to slow. Ups, autopilot off. Ladies and gentlemen, it appears our autopilot has decided to take an unscheduled nap, so I'm taking over the controls. Don't worry if you feel a slight joltance. Just me making sure I still remember how to fly this thing. Isn't it charming when technology decides to take a break without warning? Please fasten your seatbelts, as I'm about to show this autopilot who's really in charge. Let's hope my manual skills are as smooth as our in-flight movies. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that sound? Yes, that's us hauling this aircraft across the sky like an old, trusty tractor in a field. We'll be keeping this manual journey going for a bit longer, so make yourselves comfortable and enjoy the ride. Let's hope we don't land too soon, because that would mean the end of our stream, and we certainly wouldn't want to cut our adventure short. Let's keep this flight in the air and our live stream going as long as we can. Just dipped the nose a bit while cruising at 40,000 feet. It's a bit like driving a car with the doors wide open. more air, and a whole new perspective. Please, don't try this at home, or especially on the highway. Enjoy the views, as today we're flying by our own unique rules. Everything is back under control. What I was talking about before the crisis? I was talking about the speed of the Concorde. At cruising speed, the Concorde's exterior temperature could reach up to 127 degrees Celsius, 261 degrees Fahrenheit, due to air friction. This caused the fuselage to expand by as much as 23 centimeters, 9 inches during flight, a factor that engineers accounted for in the design. The Concorde was also equipped with advanced avionics for its time, including sophisticated navigation and autopilot systems capable of managing supersonic flight parameters. The cockpit instrumentation provided pilots with precise control over the aircraft's performance, and included features such as a Mach meter to monitor speed relative to the speed of sound. Fuel efficiency was a significant consideration, given the high fuel consumption associated with supersonic speeds. The Concorde carried approximately 119,500 liters, 31,660 gallons of fuel, stored in 17 tanks distributed throughout the wings and fuselage. Fuel was actively managed during flight to maintain the aircraft's center of gravity, particularly as it accelerated and decelerated through different speed regimes. In summary, the Concorde's technical specifications reflect a harmonious blend of powerful propulsion, aerodynamic excellence, and innovative engineering solutions. Its ability to cruise at twice the speed of sound while providing a safe and comfortable passenger experience remains a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of its designers. Welcome to everyone who has just joined our live stream. It is a pleasure to have you here as we embark on a journey aboard the legendary Concorde, where history, technology, and the thrill of supersonic flight come together. Today, we will dive into the fascinating world of one of the most iconic aircraft ever built, a masterpiece that redefined the boundaries of travel and captured the imagination of millions. Take a moment to settle in, make yourself comfortable, and prepare to experience the thrill of flight in a way that few people in the world ever had the chance to. Whether you are joining as an aviation enthusiast, a history buff, or simply curious to know more, you are in the right place. We will explore every angle of what made Concorde so extraordinary, from its sleek, aerodynamic design to the incredible speeds that allowed it to cross the Atlantic in just over 3 hours. If you are just tuning in, do not worry. We will guide you through every part of this journey, making sure that you do not miss a single detail. Feel free to ask questions or share your thoughts in the chat. This is an interactive experience, and I am here to answer as many of your questions as possible. Today, you are not just an observer. You are part of this journey, reliving the magic that passengers on Concorde felt as they soared above the clouds, faster than the speed of sound. As we move forward, keep your imagination active, picture yourself on board, and let yourself be immersed in this unique experience. Thank you for being here with us. Let us make this live event an unforgettable adventure together. Too fast. Keep calm. Everything is under control. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of Concorde and supersonic travel. If you are enjoying this experience and would like to see more unique content like this, we would greatly appreciate your support. Creating these immersive experiences takes time, research, and resources. And with your help, we can continue bringing you stories that capture the wonders of history, technology, and human achievement. Supporting us, whether by liking, sharing, or even contributing financially, directly helps us grow and create more content. Every bit of support makes a difference, allowing us to dive even deeper into fascinating topics and share them with you in ways that are engaging and informative. So, if you would like to be a part of our journey, we invite you to support us in any way that feels right. Together, we can keep exploring, learning, and celebrating the marvels of our world. Thank you for being here with us. Let's keep this adventure going. As we take to the skies, let us bid farewell to the vibrant and historic city of London, which slowly recedes beneath us, leaving behind its iconic landmarks, winding streets, and centuries of stories. The River Thames glistens in the sunlight, weaving its way through the heart of the city, reflecting the life and movement of a bustling metropolis. In the distance, we can catch a final glimpse of Tower Bridge standing proudly, a symbol of resilience and architectural beauty. Beneath us, the patchwork of London neighborhoods spreads out like a tapestry. From the grandeur of Westminster with its towering Big Ben and the majestic Houses of Parliament, to the energy and excitement of the West End, known for its theaters and cultural attractions. Each district we leave behind tells its own unique story, and as we climb higher, these bustling areas transform into smaller patches, merging together into a panorama of England's capital. Our climb into the sky takes us past landmarks such as Buckingham Palace, the seat of British royalty, and the London Eye, standing tall as a modern sentinel, offering panoramic views of the city. Yet, today, we rise above even the highest viewpoints London has to offer, journeying into an experience few have ever known. As we ascend, imagine the vast cityscape giving way to the gentle English countryside, with its rolling fields and charming villages dotting the landscape. Soon, the urban sprawl fades, replaced by the greens and golds of the countryside, and the sound of the bustling city gives way to the quiet hum of the engines as we gain altitude. Now we soar higher still, and the Thames narrows to a silver ribbon, disappearing beneath the clouds as we begin our journey across the vast Atlantic Ocean. London, with its rich history, towering architecture, and spirited energy, fades from view, but the memory of this vibrant departure remains with us. Ahead lies a journey of unprecedented speed and elegance, taking us from the heart of England to the distant shores of North America, faster than any other journey of its kind. And with that, we leave London behind, embarking on a voyage that bridges continents, cultures, and worlds, in a way that only the legendary Concorde can. The Concorde's legacy is tied closely to the iconic routes it served. bridging continents in record-breaking time and offering a level of luxury that few other aircraft could match. Today, we will explore some of the most famous routes that Concorde regularly operated, bringing the elite of society to their destinations faster than any other commercial aircraft. Now that we've reached our cruising altitude, feel free to unfasten your seatbelts, order some exquisite refreshments, and relax. In the unique spirit of this flight, smoking is permitted though. Remember, smoking is harmful to your health. Enjoy the exceptional freedoms of our journey today, but please, do so responsibly. Remember that your support helps keep the spirit of Concorde and its history alive on this channel. Consider liking, sharing, or even supporting our channel to help us continue creating content that celebrates the golden era of supersonic travel. One of Concorde's most celebrated and enduring routes was the transatlantic journey between London Heathrow Airport and New York John F. Kennedy International Airport, operated by British Airways. This route symbolized speed and prestige. Passengers, often high-profile business leaders, celebrities, and government officials, could board a Concorde in London and arrive in New York City in just over 3 hours. While a typical commercial flight on this route took around 7 to 8 hours, Concorde's supersonic capability meant it could complete the journey in less than half that time, reaching a cruising speed of Mach 2.04. This route was one of the most profitable and regularly operated, with British Airways offering daily departures that were highly sought after by travelers who valued time as much as luxury. If you are enjoying this journey through Concorde's iconic routes, please take a moment to show your support, whether through a simple like, a comment, or even a subscription. Each gesture helps us bring you more in-depth stories of aviation history. Similarly, Air France operated a transatlantic route from Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport to New York John F. Kennedy International Airport, which became equally iconic in its own right. Like the London-New York route, this service allowed passengers to enjoy breakfast in Paris and lunch in New York, compressing time in a way that seemed almost magical. Air France's Paris-New York service quickly became a favorite among European diplomats, luxury travelers, and global business executives who relied on the Concorde's efficiency and prestige. This route underscored the Concorde's role as a bridge between the world's great cities, enabling quick and convenient travel across the Atlantic. The Concorde's transatlantic routes were not just about speed. They were about creating an exclusive experience. On board, passengers enjoyed a luxurious dining service, complete with champagne, gourmet meals, and attentive cabin crew. These details added to the aircraft's mystique and helped make each journey as memorable as the destination itself. As we recount these stories, please consider supporting this channel. Your engagement helps us continue sharing the incredible legacy of Concorde with aviation enthusiasts like you. Beyond these core routes, the Concorde also operated seasonal and special flights to Barbados. British Airways, in particular, offered services from London Heathrow to the Caribbean island, catering to passengers looking for a swift and stylish escape to paradise. The London-Barbados route was especially popular during the winter months, allowing travelers to leave the cold English climate behind and arrive in the warmth of the Caribbean in just under 4 hours. While traditional flights to Barbados typically took around 8 to 9 hours, Concorde provided a faster alternative, making it ideal for those who wanted to maximize their vacation time. This route attracted many high-profile passengers, from celebrities to prominent business figures, all eager to experience the combination of speed, luxury, and exclusivity that Concorde offered. Occasionally, Concorde would operate unique, one-off charter flights and special event journeys that catered to aviation enthusiasts and affluent travelers alike. These flights could include trips to destinations in Asia or Australia, often involving multiple stops due to the aircraft's fuel requirements. For instance, there were occasional flights from London or Paris to Singapore, but these journeys were rare due to the need for intermediate stops. While Concorde's operational range and fuel efficiency were optimized for transatlantic flights, these special charters allowed passengers to experience supersonic travel to more distant parts of the world. Many of these flights were organized as round-the-world or transcontinental tours, where Concorde would make stops in various cities, allowing passengers to experience the thrill of supersonic travel while exploring multiple destinations. These journeys were highly exclusive, came with a premium price tag, but they were popular among those who valued both adventure and luxury. The rarity of these flights only added to the mystique of Concorde, making them memorable experiences for the lucky few who could participate. The appeal of Concorde's routes lay not just in the destinations, but in the unique experience it offered. From the elegantly styled cabins to the meticulous service, every detail of the journey was crafted to create a sense of exclusivity and sophistication. Today, we remember not only the routes Concorde flew, but the stories of those who traveled on them, captivated by the allure of speed and elegance that only Concorde could provide. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Concorde's most iconic routes. If you enjoyed this exploration of the destinations and experiences that made Concorde legendary, consider supporting our channel. Your likes, shares, and support make it possible for us to keep creating content that celebrates the remarkable achievements of aviation history. All right, folks, here we are, cruising at 60,000 feet above the Atlantic, just about halfway to New York. You know, it's wild to think we're going so fast right now that we're crossing 36 kilometers every minute try, doing that on your morning commute. And yet here we are, floating along as if we're just taking a leisurely stroll in the sky. Can we take a second to appreciate this view? I mean, you've got the curvature of the Earth on display, like a sneak peek into the cosmos, and then there's that dark sky overhead. It's not space, but hey, it's about as close as we'll get without NASA on speed dial. Makes you wonder, would you all ever sign up for one of those commercial flights to space? I mean, it's only a few $1 million, right? Pocket change. But seriously, imagine floating around up there, zero gravity, watching Earth spin below you. Tempting, isn't it? Okay, let's switch gears for a moment. What's everyone's go-to in-flight snack? Here on Concorde, they're serving champagne and caviar because, of course, this is no ordinary plane. But on a normal flight, you're lucky if they toss you a bag of pretzels and a cup of lukewarm coffee. Speaking of which, here's a fun little question for you all. If you could design the perfect in-flight snack, what would it be? I'd vote for a gourmet burger, but I think my seatmate might not be thrilled with the smell. Now, let me share a little classic aviation joke with you. So, a pilot walks into a bar. Oh, wait. No, he actually crashes into a bar because he forgot to retract the landing gear. Okay. Maybe not the best joke stick with me. Folks, we're 50 minutes into the flight. I'm just getting warmed up here. Here's another one. Why did the plane break up with the airport? It felt like it was being too controlling. Get it? Control tower. All right, tough crowd. I'll work on my material for the next flight. You know, while we're chatting, let's take a moment to appreciate the engineering marvel that is Concorde. Can you imagine being the person who thought, hey, let's build a plane that goes twice the speed of sound? They probably got a few raised eyebrows for that idea. But here we are, zipping across the ocean at Mach 2, all thanks to some incredible minds who wanted to push the boundaries. Kind of inspiring, right? Makes me wonder, what's something you'd like to achieve that feels just as ambitious? All right, let's shift gears and talk about some of the most bizarre world records out there. Did you know there's a guy who holds the record for the most spoons balanced on his face? Yes, you heard that right. He managed to stick 31 spoons on his face at once. I can't even get one to stay on my nose. Then there's the woman who holds the record for the longest fingernails. They measured over 28 feet in total. Can you imagine trying to text or open a can of soda with those? Talk about a real-life Wolverine. Minus the adamantium claws and the cool hair. Oh, and here's a tasty one. The largest pizza ever made was over 13,000 square feet. That's like 2.5 basketball courts covered in cheesy goodness. I wonder how many people it took to deliver that. Probably needed a fleet of delivery guys. So what's the craziest thing you've ever attempted? Maybe not world record level, but we all have our unique talents. Share yours in the comments. If this parade of peculiar prowess made you smile, don't forget to like this stream and consider following the channel. Your support helps me keep unearthing these quirky facts to brighten your day. Let's talk about something we all love, but probably don't get enough of: sleep. Ever wondered why we spend about a third of our lives snoozing? I mean, that's a lot of time with our eyes closed, dreaming about showing up to school in our underwear. Or is that just me? Sleep is like the unsung hero of our daily routine. While we're off in dreamland, our brains are hard at work processing memories, repairing tissues, and recharging for the next day. It's like the night shift at a factory, except the product is a more functional you. And dreams, what's up with those? Some theories suggest they're our brain's way of sorting through the day's events, like cleaning out the junk drawer of our minds. Others think they're completely random. I once dreamt I was being chased by a giant taco. Does that mean I have unresolved feelings about Mexican food? Here's a fun fact. Dolphins sleep with one half of their brain at a time. That way, they can keep swimming and not drown. Talk about multitasking. Meanwhile, I can barely function without my morning coffee. So, any sleepwalkers out there? Or perhaps you have a tried and true method for falling asleep? Share your tips and stories. If this chat has you yawning in a good way, remember to like and share this stream. Your support helps me keep these late night or early morning conversations going. Calling all superhero fans. Ever wonder if your favorite caped crusaders were inspired by real people? Spoiler alert, they totally were. Take Batman, for instance. Bob Kane and Bill Finger drew inspiration from Leonardo da Vinci's sketches of the ornithopter, a flying machine with bat-like wings. Combine that with the mysterious persona of Zorro and the rich playboy vibes of Howard Hughes, and voila! You've got the Dark Knight. Then there's Wonder Woman, inspired by the early feminists and suffragettes. Her creator, William Moulton Marston, also invented the lie detector test. Makes sense why she wields the lasso of truth, right? Talk about a woman who literally can't stand lies. And let's not forget Iron Man. Tony Stark's character was heavily influenced by, you guessed it, Howard Hughes again. The eccentric billionaire with a penchant for aviation and engineering. If only I had a fraction of that genius or the bank account. So who's your favorite superhero? And did you know about their real-life counterparts? Drop a comment and let's geek out together. If you're enjoying this trip through the origin stories behind the origin stories, don't forget to like this stream and follow the channel. Your support is like my personal bat signal. All right, gather round, because it's story time. Let's delve into some of the most haunted places on Earth. Don't worry, I promise not to spook you too much. Or will I insert eerie music here? First up, we have the infamous Tower of London. With over 900 years of history, it's seen its fair share of drama executions, imprisonments, and even a royal scandal or two. People have reported seeing the ghost of Anne Boleyn wandering the corridors, clutching her head under her arm. Talk about losing your head over something. Then there's the eerie Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia. Once one of the most famous and expensive prisons in the world, it's now a hotspot for ghost hunters. Visitors claim to hear whispers, footsteps, and even see shadowy figures. Personally, I'd rather not make any new friends there. And who could forget the catacombs of Paris? Miles of underground tunnels lined with the bones of over 6 million people. It's like the world's creepiest art installation. They say if you wander too far, you might not find your way back. Note to self, stick to the guided tour. So, would you dare visit any of these spooky spots? Maybe you've already been to a haunted house or had a paranormal experience? Share your stories if you dare. If this spine-tingling topic gave you goosebumps in a good way, please like and share the stream. Your support helps me keep the lights on, literally. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, why do I have Uncle Bob's ears? Well, you can thank your DNA for that. Genetics are like nature's blueprint, mapping out everything from your eye color to your ability to roll your tongue. Did you know that humans share about 99% of our DNA with chimpanzees? Makes you think twice about those monkey business jokes, huh? And get this, we share 50% of our DNA with bananas. So next time someone calls you a fruit, it's scientifically half true. But genetics aren't just about physical traits. They can influence your taste preferences, susceptibility to certain conditions, and even how you perceive flavors like cilantro. For some, it tastes like fresh herbs. For others, it tastes like soap. I'm in the soap camp, guess. My taste buds have trust issues. Ever heard of genetic traits like hitchhiker's thumb or being able to smell asparagus in urine? Yep, that's all in your DNA. It's like a genetic lottery where everyone's a winner in their own unique way. So, what's the quirkiest genetic trait you have? Can you wiggle your ears or have double-jointed fingers? Let me know in the comments. If you're finding this genetic journey fascinating, don't forget to like this stream and follow the channel. Your support is definitely in my genes, or at least, I hope it is. All right, all you food enthusiasts, this one's for you. Let's dig into some delicious origins of our favorite foods. Did you know that the sandwich was supposedly invented by the Earl of Sandwich? Legend has it, He didn't want to leave the gambling table to eat, so he asked for meat between two slices of bread. Talk about a winning hand-dan meal. And bubble tea. It originated in Taiwan in the 1980s when a tea house owner decided to add tapioca pearls to her iced tea. Boom, a global sensation was born. Personally, I still struggle with those giant straws, but the chewy pearls are worth it. Let's not forget about chocolate. The Mayans and Aztecs considered cacao beans a gift from the gods and even used them as currency. Imagine paying your rent in chocolateyed bee, both rich and constantly tempted. So, what's your favorite food? Origin story? Maybe the accidental invention of potato chips by a chef who was annoyed with a customer's complaints about thick fries. Share your tasty tidbits. If this topic made your mouth water, please like and share the stream. Your support helps me keep serving up these delicious discussions. Artificial intelligence is no longer just the stuff of sci-fi movies. It's here, and it's part of our daily lives sometimes, in ways we don't even realize. Ever get a song recommendation? That was spontaneous. That's AI. Or how about when you're typing and your phone predicts exactly what you were going to say? Slightly creepy, but also kind of helpful. But AI isn't just about convenience. It's transforming industries, from healthcare with advanced diagnostics to agriculture with smart farming techniques. We're even seeing AI-generated art and music. Who knew robots could be so creative? Of course, with great power comes great responsibility. There are concerns about privacy, job displacement, and whether AI might develop too much autonomy. I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords. Just kidding. What are your thoughts? Is AI a friend, foe, or somewhere in between? Let's chat about it. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the world of AI, please like this stream and consider following the channel. Your support helps keep this humanoid, content creator going. Ready to meet some of the planet's most bizarre creatures? Trust me, nature's imagination is wilder than any fantasy novel. First up, the axolotl, also known as the Mexican walking fish. It's a salamander that retains its larval features throughout its life, a condition called neoteny. Plus, it can regenerate lost limbs and even parts of its brain. Talk about a real-life superhero. Then there's the blobfish, often dubbed the world's ugliest animal. Living deep in the ocean, its gelatinous body is perfectly adapted to high-pressure environments. Above water, gravity isn't its friend, hence the less than flattering appearance. Ever heard of the Sunda Colugo? Also known as the flying lemur, even though it doesn't fly and isn't a lemur. It glides between trees, using a membrane that stretches from its face to the tips of its fingers and toes. Basically, it's nature's wingsuit pilot. So which of these quirky creatures is your favorite? Know any others that could top the list? Share them in the comments. If this journey through the animal kingdom fascinated you, don't forget to like and share the stream. Your support helps me keep uncovering these hidden wonders. We're still cruising high above the Atlantic, with about an hour left until we begin our descent. Time flies when you're having fun, right? So, let's keep the energy up with more jokes, riddles, and fascinating stories to make the rest of this journey just as enjoyable. And remember, if you're loving the vibe, don't forget to show some support by liking, sharing, or following the channel. Your engagement truly keeps this flight soaring. Why do pilots always carry a pencil? Because they want to draw their own conclusions. All right, maybe that one needs a bit more altitude. Get it? Higher altitude. Okay, moving on to something else. Let me share an intriguing story from the annals of aviation history. Have you heard about the Ghost Army? During World War II? It wasn't what you'd expect. Instead of actual ghosts, it was a top-secret unit comprised of artists, sound engineers, and inflatable tank specialists. Their mission? To deceive the enemy with elaborate fake installations and sound effects, making it seem like large armies were positioned where there were none. They used inflatable tanks, trucks, and even fake radio transmissions to create the illusion of movement and strength. This creative strategy played a crucial role in several key operations, including the D-Day landings, where the Ghost Army diverted German forces away from the real invasion sites. It's a fascinating example of how creativity and ingenuity can make a significant impact in the most unexpected ways. Now, I want to hear from you all. What's the most memorable trip you've ever taken? Maybe you stumbled upon a hidden gem, had an unexpected adventure, or met someone interesting along the way. Share your stories in the comments. We love hearing your travel tales. If you're enjoying these stories and jokes, please consider hitting that like button or sharing this stream with your friends. Your support helps the channel grow and reach more amazing people like you. Plus, it motivates me to keep bringing you more engaging and entertaining content. So, thank you in advance. Here's a captivating story about the first non-stop flight across the Pacific Ocean. In 1931, Charles Kingsford Smith and his crew flew the Southern Cross from California to Australia without stopping, a monumental achievement at the time. The flight took over 30 hours, facing numerous challenges like unpredictable weather, navigation difficulties, and mechanical issues. Their perseverance and skill not only set a new record, but also paved the way for future transoceanic flights. It's a testament to human determination and the spirit of exploration. Did you know that the Concorde could produce enough lift to carry an elephant? Just kidding. But seriously, its delta wing design was so efficient that it allowed the aircraft to maintain stability and control at supersonic speeds. The wings were not just for looks, they were a crucial part of Concorde's ability to slice through the sky with such grace and speed. All right, time to reveal the answer to our latest riddle. I have keys, but open no locks. I have space, but no room. You can enter, but you can't go outside. What am I? The answer is a keyboard. Keys that you press, spacebar, and the enter key perfect for typing away without any actual doors involved. Let's dive into a modern aviation mystery. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 in 2014. This Boeing 777 vanished while en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing with 239 people on board. Despite extensive search efforts covering thousands of square miles of ocean, the plane remains missing to this day. Various theories abound, from mechanical failure to hijacking, but no definitive answers have been found. It's one of the greatest aviation mysteries, sparking endless speculation and heartfelt concern for the families involved. Let's talk about the speed of sound for a moment. Did you know that the speed of sound is approximately 343 meters per second, 1,235 kilometers per hour, or 767 miles per hour, in air at sea level? The Concorde was capable of cruising at twice this speed, allowing it to cut transatlantic flight times by more than half. Breaking the sound barrier wasn't just about speed. It was about redefining what was possible in commercial aviation. If these interactions are keeping you entertained, please like and share this stream. Your support helps the channel grow and reach more incredible people like you. Okay, let's take a journey back to 1975. A time when the skies were graced by one of the most remarkable aircraft ever built, the Concorde. Among its many features, the British Airways livery from that year stood out as a symbol of elegance and national pride. Back in the mid-70s, the Concorde wasn't just a plane. It was a marvel of engineering and a beacon of the future. British Airways wanted to capture this spirit in the aircraft's appearance. The livery they chose was known as the Negus design, named after the design firm that created it. The upper part of the Concorde's fuselage was painted in a crisp white, which wasn't just for looks. The white paint helped reflect the intense heat generated when flying at supersonic speeds. Below, a deep navy blue swept along the lower fuselage, adding a sleek contrast that emphasized the aircraft's streamlined shape. But perhaps the most eye-catching feature was the tail. It showcased a stylized version of the Union Jack, Britain's flag, rendered in a modern and dynamic way. The red, white, and blue elements flowed together, symbolizing both tradition and progress. This design wasn't just about national colors. It represented a nation's pride in contributing to groundbreaking aviation. Along the sides of the plane, the words British Airways were displayed in a refined font, adding to the overall sophistication. Thin red and blue lines extended from the tail towards the nose, creating a sense of motion even when the Concorde was stationary. It was as if the plane was always ready to leap into action. For people of all ages who saw the Concorde in this livery, it was an unforgettable sight. Children gazed in wonder, dreaming of flying faster than sound, while adults admired the blend of cutting-edge technology and elegant design. The aircraft embodied a spirit of adventure and possibility that resonated with everyone. It's interesting to note that this livery wasn't just about aesthetics. The choice of colors and design elements also had practical purposes, like thermal considerations and visibility. The meticulous attention to detail reflected the same precision that went into every aspect of the Concorde's construction and operation. This iconic livery remained in use until the mid-1980s, leaving a lasting impression on aviation history. Even today, when people think of the Concorde, the 1975 British Airways design often comes to mind first. Isn't it fascinating how a plane's paint job can tell a story about a time, a place, and a spirit of innovation? The 1975 British livery of the Concorde wasn't just decoration. It was a state-mata, declaration of ambition and a celebration of human achievement. Amazing passengers. Can you believe it's already been an hour since we took off from London Heathrow? Time really does fly when you're having fun, literally. Let's talk about where we are right now in our supersonic journey across the Atlantic. After cruising at Mach 2 for about an hour, we've covered roughly 2,180 kilometers, 1,354 miles. That's like traveling from London all the way to the heart of Iceland in just 1 hour. So, where exactly are we? Picture this. We're soaring high above the vast expanse of the North Atlantic Ocean, far from the bustling cities and busy airports below. It's serene up here, with nothing but endless blue skies and the gentle hum of the Concorde's engines, keeping us company as we glide over this incredible ocean. Let me share a fun fact. The North Atlantic is one of the busiest airspaces in the world. Even though we're cruising at twice the speed of sound, there are still countless flights around us. each with their own unique destinations and stories. It's like a never-ending dance of airplanes, all moving gracefully across the sky. All right, let's keep the vibes high with another joke. Why did the airplane bring a suitcase to the party? Okay, because it wanted to take off with style. All right, I promise that one lands better than the last. Now, who's up for another riddle? Here it goes. I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I? Take a moment to think about it, and drop your answers in the comments. I'll reveal the answer soon, so keep those guesses coming. Speaking of flying without wings, have you ever heard about the incredible journey of the Concorde's maiden flight? On March 2nd, 1969, the first prototype of the Concorde took to the skies from Toulouse-Blagnac Airport in France. It was a momentous occasion, marking the beginning of an era in supersonic travel. The aircraft soared gracefully, demonstrating its ability to break the sound barrier. Little did the world know, this was just the start of a legendary chapter in aviation history. The development of Concorde was a true testament to international collaboration, with engineers from both Britain and France working side by side to create something extraordinary. Despite facing numerous challenges, both technical and financial, the Concorde ultimately became a symbol of luxury, speed, and human ingenuity. If you're enjoying this high-altitude chat, please consider hitting that like button or sharing this stream with your friends. Your support helps the channel grow and reach more awesome people like you. Plus, it motivates me to keep bringing you more engaging and entertaining content. So, thank you in advance. All right, time to unveil the answer to our latest riddle. I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I? The answer is a cloud. Clouds drift gracefully across the sky, bringing shade and sometimes rain, all without the need for wings or eyes. Pretty cool, right? Did you know that the Concorde's engines were so powerful that they could produce enough thrust to propel the aircraft beyond the speed of sound? These Rolls-Royce Snicma Olympus engines were marvels of engineering, allowing us to zip across the Atlantic at unprecedented speeds. No wonder the Concorde was considered the pinnacle of commercial aviation in its time. As we continue our journey, I'd love to know what's your dream destination. Whether it's a bustling city, a serene beach, a snowy mountain, or somewhere completely unique, share it in the comments. Maybe in our next stream, we'll dive into some interesting facts about it. Let's dive into a modern aviation mystery: the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 in 2014. This Boeing 777 vanished while en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing with 239 people on board. Despite extensive search efforts covering thousands of square miles of ocean, the plane remains missing to this day. Various theories abound, from mechanical failure to hijacking, but no definitive answers have been found. It's one of the greatest aviation mysteries, sparking endless speculation and deep concern for the families involved. I want to hear from you again. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? Maybe teleportation for instant travel, or invisibility for those sneaky moments. Let's get creative and see what amazing powers you choose. I'm taking you to the shiny, and sometimes humorous, world of those who traverse the sky faster than sound aboard the Concorde. This isn't just any passenger list. It's a true gallery of jet setters, From the golden age of supersonic travel, let's start with the old pros, the rich and famous. Imagine sipping your morning coffee, flying twice the speed of sound, and who sits opposite you? None other than the velvety James Bond of business, the one-of-a-kind, Sir Sean Connery. Yes, James Bond himself preferred his Atlantic crossings to be shaken by turbulence and enriched with a dash of luxury. And how can we forget the Queen of the Skies and Screens, Dame Elizabeth Taylor? Her glamorous presence made the Concorde another red carpet. Legend has it that her diamonds shone so brightly that they had to dim the cabin lights to balance out the glare. Then there was the style icon, and Chanel, no. 5 in human form, Coco Chanel. She flew on the Concorde more often than most of us visit the supermarket. For Coco, fashion didn't stop at the runway. It was also 60,000 feet up in the air. Who else could turn an airplane seat into the front row of a fashion show? Only Coco. But it wasn't just celebrities who loved the Concorde. It also attracted royalty. Yes, even kings and queens couldn't resist its charm. Imagine the queen herself, with her corgus neatly tucked under the seat, royally waving as the plane broke the sound barrier. That's truly reigning the skies. Of course, we can't overlook the rock stars. The bigger the hair, the closer to the aircraft's ceiling, right? The Rolling Stones were regulars, turning the back rows into backstage party scenes. Mick Jagger could be mistaken for an attendant, so often did he traverse the aisles. But let's not kid ourselves. Not everyone on board the Concorde was a celebrity or royalty. There were also plenty of businessmen and businesswomen who simply wanted to get to New York before their coffee went cold. They might not have had paparazzi waiting, but they certainly enjoyed feeling like $1 million, zooming faster than a bullet across the Atlantic. In the spirit of fun, imagine an airplane where the champagne never ends. Hairstyles defy gravity just as much as the plane, and everyone's sunglasses are just a bit too big. That was the Concorde, a slice of high life, both literally and figuratively. So, if you've ever wondered what it's like to fly on the Concorde, imagine the most exclusive, star-studded celestial party. And remember, the next time you board a regular plane and miss having more legroom and fewer crying children, at least you're not sitting next to a rock star who thinks the aisle seems like a good spot for a guitar solo. If you enjoyed this light-hearted memory, don't forget to like, share, or leave a comment. Your support helps keep these stories alive faster than the speed of sound. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll all get a chance to cruise the skies in such style. Until then, fasten your seatbelts and let your imagination soar. Do you know what it felt like to fly on the Concorde? Imagine boarding a plane that takes you to another continent in less time than most movies last. Incredible, isn't it? Who among you has ever dreamed of such a journey? Let me know. After a takeoff that was more dynamic than that of regular planes, passengers felt a slight acceleration as the aircraft broke the sound barrier. At a cruising altitude of about 18 kilometers, they could admire the curvature of the Earth and a darker shade of the sky. And on board, pure luxury champagne and gourmet meals were the norm. Sounds like a dream trip, doesn't it? Who would like to experience such a flight? The Concorde's crew was exceptional. Pilots had to master the complex systems of supersonic flight, and the flight attendants took care of every detail, often remembering the individual preferences of regular passengers. Flying on the Concorde was more than just a journey, it was a social event. Passengers made new acquaintances, sealed business deals, and enjoyed exceptional company. It was a flying conference room and an exclusive club all in one. Have you heard about the routes that Concorde served? Let's see what you know. The most famous connections were London Heathrow, New York JFK, operated by British Airways. Business people could have breakfast in London and lunch in New York. Paris, Charles de Gaulle. New York JFK. Air France connected the French capital with the heart of American business. London, Barbados. Seasonal flights for those who wanted to quickly reach the Caribbean paradise. In addition, the Concorde performed charter and special flights, such as trips to Singapore or scenic flights. These were often organized for special occasions or for select clientele. But why did the Concorde retire in 2003? What do you think? There were several reasons. The crash in 2000. On July 25th, a Concorde operated by Air France crashed shortly after takeoff from Paris, undermining confidence in the aircraft's safety. High operational costs. Maintenance and operation were extremely expensive. High fuel consumption and costly servicing made profitability low. Environmental restrictions. Growing ecological awareness and regulations concerning noise and emissions hindered supersonic operations. Changes in the aviation market. After the attacks of September 11, 2001, the aviation industry faced a crisis. Luxury Concorde flights became less attractive. Despite attempts to extend its operation, the decision was ultimately made to retire the Concorde. The last flights took place in October 2003, and the aircraft were placed in museums and on display. Do you think supersonic passenger flights will ever return? Share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this story and want more interesting facts, please like and share this live stream. Your support really means a lot. Do you know the story of the Concorde, the supersonic passenger jet that once soared through the skies at twice the speed of sound? Now, we are going to delve deep into the history of this remarkable aircraft, focusing on the tragic crash of 2000 and other incidents that marked its legacy. Along the way, I will pose some questions to keep you engaged, so feel free to ponder your answers as we journey through this fascinating narrative. First, let us set the stage. The Concorde was a marvel of engineering, joint venture between Britain and France that began commercial flights in 1976, capable of cruising at Mach 2, or about 2,179 kilometers per hour. It could fly from Europe to New York in just over 3 hours, less than half the time of a conventional flight. Imagine boarding a plane in London and arriving in New York in time for a leisurely lunch. Have you ever imagined what it would be like to travel at such incredible speeds? The Concorde was not just fast. It was also a symbol of luxury and technological prowess. With only 20 aircraft ever built, flying on the Concorde was an exclusive experience reserved for the affluent and influential. The cabin was elegantly appointed, and passengers were treated to gourmet meals and fine wines. Flying at such high altitudes, around 18,000 meters, passengers could even see the curvature of the Earth and the darkness of space above. How would you feel gazing out the window at such a breathtaking view? But with great innovation often comes great challenges. Let us explore some of the incidents that the Concorde faced during its years of operation, which, while not numerous, were significant in shaping its history. One of the earliest incidents occurred in 1979, on July 21st. A British Airways Concorde, departing from Washington Dulles International Airport, experienced an engine surge and failure shortly after takeoff. The pilot skillfully shut down the affected engine and returned to the airport. landing safely without any injuries to passengers or crew. This event highlighted the importance of rigorous maintenance and the exceptional training of Concorde pilots. What do you think goes through a pilot's mind during such an emergency situation? Another incident happened in 1980. On November 14th, an Air France Concorde taking off from Dakar, Senegal, encountered a flock of birds. Several birds were ingested into the engines, causing significant damage and a loss of thrust. The crew managed to circle back and land safely, but the incident raised concerns about wildlife hazards at airports, especially for aircraft operating at high speeds during takeoff and landing. Have you ever considered how airports manage the risk of bird strikes to ensure aviation safety? In 1993, on October 5th, a British Airways Concorde suffered a tire blowout during takeoff from London Heathrow Airport. Debris from the tire punctured the wing and damaged critical systems, including electrical wiring and hydraulic lines. Despite these challenges, the pilots were able to bring the plane back safely. This incident prompted extensive investigations into tire durability and the potential consequences of tire failures on high-speed aircraft like the Concorde. The design of the aircraft made it particularly vulnerable to damage from tire debris due to the placement of its fuel tanks and systems. How important do you think engineering design is in preventing such incidents? Now, let us discuss the most significant and tragic event in the Concorde's history. The crash of Air France Flight 4590. On July 25, 2000, the Concorde was scheduled to fly from Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris to John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York City. The aircraft was chartered by a German tour company, and many passengers were looking forward to a luxury cruise departing from New York. During the takeoff roll, unbeknownst to the Concorde crew, a piece of metal debris measuring about 43 centimeters had fallen onto the runway from a Continental Airlines DC-10 that had taken off minutes earlier. This strip of titanium, part of the DC-10's engine cowl, lay in the path of the accelerating Concorde. As the Concorde's left main landing gear passed over the debris, it caused one of the tires to burst. Fragments from the disintegrated tire were thrown against the underside of the wing, where the fuel tanks were located. One such fragment struck the wing with tremendous force, causing a shock wave that ruptured a fuel tank. Fuel began to leak and was ignited, likely by an electrical spark or the heat of the engines. Flames trailed from the left wing as the aircraft continued its takeoff. The pilots became aware of the situation, but were already beyond the decision speed, meaning they could not safely abort the takeoff. They attempted to gain altitude and return for an emergency landing. However, with 2 of the 4 engines losing power due to the fire, the aircraft struggled to climb. Just a few minutes after takeoff, the Concorde entered a stall and crashed into a hotel in the suburb of Gonesse. All 100 passengers, 9 crew members, and 4 people on the ground lost their lives. This chain of events underscored how even small oversights can lead to catastrophic outcomes. The piece of debris on the runway, the vulnerability of the Concorde's fuel tanks to impact, and the decision to continue takeoff all contributed to the tragedy. Investigations following the crash led to several recommendations and changes in aviation safety protocols. How do you think such incidents influence the way airlines and manufacturers approach safety today? The crash led to the immediate grounding of the Concorde fleet, while safety modifications were implemented. These included the development of new, more durable Michelin tires designed to resist shredding, the installation of Kevlar liners within the fuel tanks to prevent punctures, and reinforced wiring to reduce the risk of electrical sparks igniting fuel. The Concorde returned to service in November 2001, but the damage to its reputation, combined with other factors, led to its eventual retirement in 2003. Aside from the 2000 crash, there were other incidents that, while less severe, contributed to concerns about the Concorde's safety and long-term viability. For instance, in 1989, a British Airways Concorde experienced a significant engine failure due to a faulty compressor blade. The engine's compressor blades are critical components that compress incoming air before it enters the combustion chamber. A failure here can lead to loss of thrust and potential engine damage. The aircraft landed safely, but the ink. In another case, in 1992, an Air France Concorde had to make an emergency landing after experiencing a hydraulic failure. The loss of hydraulic pressure affected the aircraft's control surfaces, including the elevons and rudder, which are essential for maneuvering the plane. The crew declared an emergency and returned to the airport, landing without injury to passengers or crew. These incidents, while resolved without loss of life, highlighted the challenges of maintaining an aging fleet of technologically advanced aircraft. What measures do you think airlines should take to ensure the safety of older aircraft? Let us also consider the operational limitations and challenges that the Concorde faced beyond mechanical issues. Due to its sonic boom, the loud noise created when an aircraft exceeds the speed of sound, the Concorde was restricted to transoceanic routes, where the noise would not disturb populated areas. This limitation significantly reduced the number of viable routes and destinations. Moreover, the aircraft's high fuel consumption and environmental impact became increasingly problematic. The Concorde's engines were designed for speed rather than fuel efficiency, consuming about 25,629 liters of fuel per hour. As fuel prices rose and environmental awareness grew, concerns about emissions and the ecological footprint of supersonic travel intensified. Noise pollution during takeoff and landing also led to restrictions at certain airports. How important do you think environmental considerations are in shaping the future of aviation? The combination of these factors, safety concerns, operational costs, environmental issues, and changes in the aviation market led to the decision to retire the Concorde. The attacks of September 11, 2001 had a profound impact on the airline industry, leading to decreased passenger numbers and financial strain on airlines. Luxury travel declined as companies and individuals cut back on expenses. With the Concorde's high operational costs and reduced demand, both Air France and British Airways concluded that continued operation was no longer viable. On October 24, 2003, the Concorde made its final commercial flight. Crowds gathered to witness the end of an era, with many feeling a sense of loss for the iconic aircraft. It marked the conclusion of supersonic passenger travel that had captivated the world for nearly 3 decades. Reflecting on this, do you believe that supersonic travel is a necessary pursuit? Or should efforts focus on improving efficiency and sustainability in aviation? The Concorde's legacy is complex. On one hand, it represents a pinnacle of aerospace engineering, achieving speeds and altitudes unmatched by other commercial aircraft. On the other hand, it serves as a cautionary tale about the challenges of balancing technological advancement with safety, environmental responsibility, and economic viability. Let us delve even deeper into the legal and regulatory implications that arose from the Concorde incidents, particularly the 2000 crash. The aftermath of the crash led to a reevaluation of international aviation safety standards and prompted collaboration among global aviation authorities. In the wake of the accident, the International Civil Aviation Organization and various national aviation authorities intensified their focus on runway safety and foreign object debris management. Enhanced runway inspection protocols were implemented to detect and remove debris that could pose a hazard to aircraft. This included the adoption of advanced technologies such as debris detection radar systems and regular physical inspections. How effective do you think these measures are in preventing future accidents? Additionally, the crash highlighted the need for better coordination among airlines, maintenance providers, and airport operators. Airlines began to place greater emphasis on ensuring that maintenance procedures were meticulously followed, and that any defects or irregularities were promptly addressed. This collaborative approach aimed to create a culture of safety that transcended individual organizations. The legal proceedings also brought to light the complexities of international aviation law. Continental Airlines appealed the French court's decision, arguing that the design flaws of the Concorde were the primary cause of the accident. The appeals court later acquitted Continental Airlines of criminal wrongdoing, but upheld the finding of civil liability, requiring the airline to pay damages. This case underscores the challenges in attributing responsibility in aviation incidents that involve multiple parties and cross-border jurisdictions. How do you think international laws can be improved to handle such complex cases? From an engineering perspective, the Concorde's incidents prompted advancements in material science and aircraft design. The vulnerability of the fuel tanks led to research into fuel tank protection. The use of Kevlar, a strong and lightweight material, became more widespread in reinforcing critical areas of aircraft. Similarly, the importance of tire integrity at high speeds led to innovations in tire manufacturing, including the development of new materials and construction techniques to enhance durability. Furthermore, the incidents underscored the importance of human factors in aviation safety. Pilot training programs were reviewed and updated to include scenarios involving rare but catastrophic failures. Crew resource management training emphasized communication, decision-making, and teamwork among cockpit crews. These enhancements aimed to prepare pilots to handle emergency situations more effectively. How significant do you believe pilot training is in ensuring the safety of flights? In terms of public perception, the Concorde's accidents affected confidence in supersonic travel. Media coverage of the crash was extensive, and public concern over safety grew. Airlines and manufacturers recognized the need for transparent communication with the public regarding safety measures and the steps being taken to prevent future incidents. This approach helped to restore some confidence, but the impact on the Concorde's image was lasting. Looking at the environmental aspect, the Concorde's retirement coincided with growing global awareness of climate change and the environmental impact of aviation. The aircraft's high fuel consumption and emissions were at odds with emerging environmental priorities. This has led to a greater emphasis on developing sustainable aviation technologies such as alternative fuels, electric propulsion, and more efficient aerodynamics. Do you think the aviation industry is moving quickly enough towards sustainability? In the realm of future supersonic travel, the challenges identified during the Concorde's operation are being addressed through innovative solutions. For example, new engine designs aim to reduce noise and emissions, utilizing variable cycle engines that can optimize performance for different phases of flight. Advanced computational modeling allows engineers to simulate and refine aircraft designs before building physical prototypes, reducing the risk of unforeseen issues. Moreover, the integration of artificial intelligence and automation in aircraft systems holds the potential to enhance safety and efficiency. Autonomous monitoring systems can detect anomalies in real time, allowing for proactive maintenance and reducing the likelihood of component failures. However, the reliance on technology also raises questions about cybersecurity and the role of human oversight. What balance do you think should be struck between automation and human control in aviation? As we consider these developments, it is clear that the legacy of the Concorde extends beyond its physical presence. It has spurred ongoing debates and research into how we can achieve faster, safer, and more sustainable air travel. The lessons learned from its incidents continue to inform industry practices and inspire innovation. In reflecting on the Concorde story, we can appreciate the complexity of advancing human capabilities while managing the inherent risks. The aircraft's journey reminds us that progress often involves setbacks, and that learning from these experiences is crucial. Whether we are engineers, policymakers, or passengers, we all have a role to play in shaping the future of aviation. In closing, the Concorde remains a symbol of what human ingenuity can achieve when we dare to push beyond conventional boundaries. Its story is a rich tapestry woven with threads of ambition, triumph, tragedy, and enduring lessons. As we stand on the cusp of new frontiers in aviation, may we carry forward the knowledge gained and strive to create a future where speed, safety, and sustainability coexist harmoniously. Thank you for accompanying me on this comprehensive exploration of the Concorde's history and its impact on the world of aviation. Your interest in aviation history and the complexities of technological advancement contributes to a greater understanding of how we can navigate the challenges of the future. As we look to the skies, let us carry forward the spirit of innovation tempered with the wisdom of experience. What do you envision for the future of flight, and how can we collectively work toward making it a reality? Whether you are an aviation enthusiast or simply intrigued by the stories of human endeavor, the tale of the Concorde offers valuable insights. The sky may have been the limit for the Concorde, but for us, it is a reminder of the endless possibilities that await when we combine innovation with wisdom. Remember, the journey is far from over, and the sky holds infinite possibilities. Ha ha! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our virtual journey on the legendary Concorde. As we cruise at twice the speed of sound, soaring over the vast Atlantic Ocean. We're now halfway through our flight from London Heathrow to New York JFK, flying at an altitude where the sky merges into the darkness of space. We can glimpse the curvature of the Earth of view reserved for the few. At this very moment, our Concorde, an engineering marvel of its era, is slicing through the skies at about 1,350 miles per hour. That's Mach 2.04, to be precise. While you might feel perfectly still, sitting comfortably in your seat, outside, the thin air is rushing past us much faster than the speed of sound. If you were outside, you'd hear a sonic boom as we passed. Inside, it's just a gentle hum, a testament to the incredible design of this aircraft. We're currently over the mid-Atlantic, far from any shore. Below us, the ocean is a deep blue, almost black, stretching endlessly in every direction. The waters are calm from up here, but the depth and mysteries beneath the waves mirror the vastness of the sky above. This moment in our flight is quite extraordinary. We're in a place most people never reach above the weather, above the regular jet routes, in a serene expanse where time itself seems to bend. Traveling this fast, time dilates, meaning we're experiencing time slightly slower than those on the ground. It's not enough for humans to notice, but our clocks are ticking just a fraction of a second behind. Up here, Concorde is in its element. The aircraft's slender delta-wing design isn't just for looks. It's perfectly suited for high-speed travel, cutting through the air with minimal resistance. The engines roar quietly in the background, powered by innovation and a thirst for speed that has yet to be matched by modern airliners. As we continue our journey, feel free to imagine what it might have been like to travel on Concorde during its golden years. Celebrities, diplomats, and business leaders would be sharing this cabin with us, sipping champagne and discussing deals that would shape the world, all while traveling faster than a speeding bullet. We're not just on a flight. We're a part of history, history that flew so fast it left the future behind. In just a short while, we will begin our descent into New York, But until then, enjoy the silence of supersonic travel, the luxury of time saved, and the thrill of flying on one of the most iconic aircraft ever built. Stay tuned as we prepare to transition from the smooth and quiet high-altitude cruise to our approach towards JFK, where the bustling city awaits to greet us with its vibrant energy. But for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of your extraordinary journey on this beautiful relic of aviation history. All right, continuing from where we left off. You know, speaking of unexpected adventures, let me share another story that might give you a chuckle. The other day, I decided to try my hand at gardening. I thought planting some tomatoes would be a simple task. Bought the seeds, got some soil, and felt pretty confident. As I was digging the hole for the first seed, a little bird landed nearby and started watching me intently. I joked, "Hey, buddy, you here to help?" Little did I know, that bird had plans. As soon as I placed the seed in the ground, the bird swooped down and snatched it right up. I couldn't believe it. We ended up playing a game of cat and mouse, or rather, human and bird, for the next half hour. Every time I tried to plant a seed, he'd swoop in. Eventually, I had to concede defeat. Who knew gardening could be so competitive? Speaking of animals, has anyone here ever had a pet that just seemed smarter than they let on? I used to have a dog named Max. He had this uncanny ability to disappear whenever bath time rolled around. No matter how quietly I prepared the tub, he'd vanish. I'd find him hiding under the bed, giving me those big puppy eyes as if to say, maybe another day. It's funny how pets can have such strong personalities. Oh, here's a fun riddle for everyone. What has a head and a tail, but no body? Think about it for a moment. Got your guesses ready? It's a coin. Riddles are such a great way to keep the mind sharp. Let me tell you about a time when technology got the better of me. I was setting up a smart home assistant and thought I'd impress my friends by controlling everything with my voice. Lights, music, the whole shebang. During a dinner party, I said, "Turn on the dining room lights." Instead, every light in the house started flashing like a disco. My friends thought I was throwing a surprise dance party. We ended up rolling with it, and it turned into a memorable night. Sometimes, technology surprises can lead to unexpected fun. On the topic of surprises, who here enjoys a good spooky tale? I recall visiting an old lighthouse during a trip to the coast. Locals whispered that it was haunted by the ghost of a keeper who vanished mysteriously. Intrigued, a group of us decided to explore it one evening. As we climbed the winding stairs, the wind howled outside, and the wooden steps creaked under our feet. Reaching the top, we found an old journal left behind. Just as we opened it, the light in the lantern room flickered on its own. We exchanged glances, a mix of excitement and unease. Then, a sudden tap on the window made us jump. It was just a seagull, but our imaginations had already run wild. Though nothing supernatural happened, the experience was thrilling. Switching gears, have you ever noticed how kids can say the most unexpected things? My niece once asked me, if tomatoes are a fruit, does that make ketchup a smoothie? I didn't have an answer for that. It's amazing how their minds work. Here's another riddle. I'm tall when I'm young, and I'm short when I'm old. What am I? Any ideas? A candle? Speaking of candles, I tried making homemade candles as a DIY project. Seemed simple enough. Melt some wax, add a wick, maybe a few drops of essential oil. Well, I accidentally spilled the melted wax all over the kitchen counter. It solidified almost instantly, and I spent the next hour scraping it off. The kitchen smelled like lavender for days, though, so at least there was that. Let's not forget the importance of laughter. Did you hear about the mathematician who's afraid of negative numbers? He'll stop at nothing to avoid them. All right, maybe that was a bit of a groaner, But sometimes the simplest jokes bring the biggest smiles. By the way, your support means a lot. If you're enjoying our time together, feel free to like and share this stream. It helps keep the conversation going and brings more friends into our little gathering. Back to our stories. Once, I attended a costume party dressed as a giant pineapple. It was all fun and games until I got stuck in a doorway. Trying to navigate through crowds while wearing an oversized fruit suit is a challenge I wouldn't recommend. On the bright side, I won the award for the most memorable entrance. Have any of you had costume mishaps or memorable party moments? I'd love to hear about them. Reading your comments, it seems like we've all had our fair share of funny experiences. It's great to share and realize we're not alone in our occasional awkwardness. Here's a lighthearted joke. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Simple, yet classic. Let me delve into another tale. I once decided to take a pottery class. Thought it would be relaxing to mold clay and create something with my own hands. During the first session, as I was shaping what was supposed to be a bowl, the clay took on a life of its own. It collapsed into a lumpy mess. The instructor came over, looked at my creation, and said, "Abstract art is very in right now." We both laughed, and I realized that sometimes the joy is in the trying, not the perfect result. Here's a riddle to ponder. What begins with T, ends with T, and has tea in it? Any guesses? A teapot. Speaking of tea, I remember hosting a tea party for some friends. I wanted to be fancy, so I looked up how to make traditional scones. Everything was going smoothly until I mistakenly used salt instead of sugar. Let's just say the expressions on my friends' faces after the first bite were unforgettable. We ended up ordering pizza and laughing about it all evening. Life has a funny way of turning mishaps into cherished memories. Have you ever had a moment where things didn't go as planned but turned out better than expected? Share your stories. Going through your comments, it's heartwarming to see how many of us can relate to these little life hiccups. Here's a joke. What do you call cheese that isn't yours? Nacho cheese. Couldn't resist throwing that one in. Now, for a slightly spooky anecdote. A friend of mine moved into an old house with a beautiful antique grandfather clock. Every night at midnight, the clock would chime 13 times instead of 12. Curious and a bit creeped out, he decided to investigate. Turns out, there was a hidden compartment behind the clock face containing letters from the original owner dating back a century. The extra chime was due to a mechanical glitch, but it led to the discovery of a piece of history. Sometimes, eerie occurrences have fascinating explanations. Let's lighten the mood with another riddle. What has many keys, but can't open a single lock? A piano? Music truly is a universal language. I tried learning the piano once. My rendition of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star was unique. My neighbor's dog started howling along, so perhaps I was hitting the right notes in a way only canines appreciate. Speaking of pets, anyone here with funny pet stories? Animals can be such a source of joy and surprise. Your pet tales are delightful. From cats knocking things off tables with calculated precision, to dogs thinking they're lap-sized when they're clearly not. Pets certainly enrich our lives. Here's a joke to keep the smiles coming. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything. Moving on. I once volunteered at a local theater production. They needed extras for a play, and I thought, why not? My role was simple. Walk across the stage carrying a tray. During one performance, I tripped over a prop, and the tray went flying. The audience gasped, but the lead actor improvised brilliantly, turning it into a comedic moment. It taught me the value of quick thinking and embracing the unexpected. Here's another riddle. Feed me, and I live. Give me a drink, and I die. What am I? Fire? Fire has always fascinated me. In a controlled environment, of course. Campfires, for instance, are the perfect setting for sharing stories. One time, while camping with friends, we tried making s'mores. Somehow, we ended up setting half the marshmallows on fire. We laughed as we ate our charred creations, deciding that crispy marshmallows were an acquired taste. Do you have favorite camping memories or outdoor adventures? Reading your experiences brings back so many good memories. Here's a joke. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. Couldn't resist a good food pun. Let's circle back to the theme of unexpected technology glitches. Ever been on a video call where something hilarious happened? I was in a serious meeting when my virtual background malfunctioned. Replacing my image with a dancing banana took a moment to fix, but it certainly lightened the mood. Sometimes, laughter is the best way to handle life's little curveballs. By the way, your support truly means a lot. If you're enjoying this stream, please consider liking and sharing it with others who might appreciate a good story and a few laughs. Imagine stepping onto an aircraft that could whisk you across the Atlantic in just over 3 hours. The Concorde offered exactly that, but such luxury and speed came with a hefty price tag. Back in its heyday, a one-way ticket from London to New York could cost up to $8,000. That's a significant sum, even by today's standards. To put it into perspective, that's enough to buy a decent used car or fund several vacations. It's fascinating to think about how much value people placed on time and prestige. The Concorde wasn't just about getting from point A to point B quickly. It was an experience like no other. Passengers were treated to gourmet meals, fine wines, and exceptional service all, while cruising at twice the speed of sound. The cabin, though snug, due to the aircraft's sleek design, exuded an air of exclusivity. Flying on the Concorde was as much a status symbol as it was a mode of transportation. Speaking of speed, during flight, the Concorde's fuselage would actually expand by about 20 centimeters. Because of the heat generated from air friction at supersonic speeds, engineers had to account for this expansion when designing the aircraft. It's incredible how science and engineering come together to overcome such unique challenges. Imagine sitting in a plane that's stretching as you fly. While we're on the topic of fascinating facts, let's delve into some of the lesser-known aspects of the Concorde. The aircraft had a distinctive droop nose, which could be lowered during takeoff and landing to improve the pilot's visibility. This feature gave the Concorde its iconic look, almost like a majestic bird, nodding before taking flight. It's one of those design elements that combine form and function seamlessly. Now, picture this. You're sipping champagne at 60,000 feet, looking out of the window to see the curvature of the Earth. The sky above transitions from blue to the dark indigo of space. It's almost like being on the edge of the cosmos. Such views were usually reserved for astronauts, yet Concorde passengers experienced them routinely. It's no wonder that flying on this aircraft was a bucket list item for many. The pilots who flew the Concorde were among the best in the world. They managed a complex array of controls and navigated the skies at unprecedented speeds. It's akin to piloting a spacecraft, requiring immense skill and concentration. The flight attendants also played a crucial role, ensuring that passengers enjoyed their journey despite the cabin's compact size. Serving gourmet meals at Mach 2 couldn't have been easy. Speaking of meals, did you know that the menus were specially curated to taste great even at high altitudes? The lower air pressure and humidity inside the cabin can dull taste buds, so airlines selected foods and wines that would still be flavorful. It's attention to detail like this that made the Concorde experience truly exceptional. Let's take a moment to appreciate how the Concorde was faster than a speeding bullet. It cruised at over 2,000 kilometers per hour, while an average bullet travels at about 1,700 kilometers per hour. That's a mind-boggling speed for a passenger aircraft. It's amusing to think that if you fired a gun and took off in the Concorde at the same time, you'd reach your destination first. Now, here's a funny anecdote. Due to the time zone differences and the Concorde's incredible speed, passengers could arrive at their destination before the time they left. Imagine departing from London at 10 a.m. and landing in New York at 9 a.m. the same day. Talk about turning back the clock. It's almost like having a personal time machine. While the Concorde was a marvel of technology, it wasn't without its quirks. The cabin was narrower than that of conventional jets, and the seating was cozier. But passengers didn't seem to mind. They were too enthralled by the thrill of supersonic travel and the prestige that came with it. It's a testament to the allure of speed and luxury. On a lighter note, here's a joke for you. Why did the Concorde pilot bring a map to the party? Because he always knew how to navigate a good time. Okay, maybe piloting humor isn't my strongest suit, but it's fun to think about the personalities behind the controls of such an iconic aircraft. The Concorde also had some unique operational challenges. For instance, during takeoff and landing, the aircraft produced a significant amount of noise due to its powerful engines and afterburners. This led to restrictions on where it could fly at supersonic speeds, primarily over oceans, to minimize noise disturbance on the ground. Environmental concerns like these are even more prominent today, influencing the design of future aircraft. Speaking of the environment, modern aviation is increasingly focused on sustainability. New technologies are being developed to reduce fuel consumption and emissions. Companies are exploring electric planes, biofuels, and more efficient aerodynamics. It's exciting to think that we might one day have aircraft that combine the speed of the Concorde with eco-friendly operations. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who's tuned in to this live stream. Your support and enthusiasm make these discussions so much more enjoyable. If you're finding this interesting, please consider liking and sharing the stream. It really helps to keep the conversation going and brings more aviation enthusiasts into our community. Back to our journey through the skies. Let's discuss how the Concorde impacted global business and culture. Its speed allowed business executives to attend meetings across the Atlantic and return home the same day. This efficiency transformed the way international business was conducted. It also played a role in cultural exchanges, making the world feel a little smaller and more connected. Imagine being able to attend a Broadway show in New York and be back in London in time for dinner. The Concorde made such experiences possible for those who could afford it. It's fascinating to consider how access to rapid transportation can change our perception of distance and time. Now, let's explore some of the technological advancements inspired by the Concorde. The aircraft pushed the boundaries of materials, science, aerodynamics, and engine technology. The lessons learned have trickled down into other areas of aviation, and even into space exploration. It's a shining example of how ambitious projects can drive innovation that benefits multiple industries. Here's another amusing tidbit. Because of the Concorde's high cruising altitude, passengers were exposed to slightly higher levels of cosmic radiation. But don't worry, the exposure was still within safe limits. It's just one of those quirky facts that make the Concorde story even more intriguing. Thinking about the future, several companies are now working on next-generation supersonic jets. These aircraft aim to address the shortcomings of the Concorde, such as noise, pollution, and fuel efficiency. Imagine a plane that can fly faster than sound without creating a disruptive sonic boom. It sounds like science fiction, but it's becoming closer to reality, ongoing research and development. As technology advances, who knows what possibilities await us? Maybe we'll see the advent of hypersonic travel, or even commercial space flights becoming commonplace. The sky is no longer the limit. It's just the beginning. Before we continue, I'd like to encourage everyone watching to share your thoughts in the comments. What fascinates you most about the Concorde? Are there any aviation topics you'd like to explore in future streams? Your input helps shape these discussions, making them more engaging for everyone. Returning to our topic, let's touch on the camaraderie among the Concorde crew and passengers. Given the exclusive nature of the flights, it wasn't uncommon for celebrities, politicians, and business magnates to share the cabin. This created a unique social environment at 60,000 feet. Friendships were formed, deals were struck, and memorable stories were created all while hurtling through the sky at supersonic speeds. One memorable story involves a passenger who, upon finishing his meal, asked if he could get a quick tour of the cockpit. A flight attendant obliged, and the passenger was thrilled to meet the pilots. As it turned out, that passenger was none other than Sir David Attenborough. Moments like these highlight the unique experiences that the Concorde offered. Let's not forget about the aircraft's appearance at air shows and special events. The Concorde often stole the spotlight with its sleek design and impressive capabilities. It was more than just a mode of transportation. It was a symbol of human achievement and aspiration. Here's a fun question to ponder. If you had the opportunity to fly on a modern version of the Concorde, knowing what you do now about its pros and cons, would you take it? It's an interesting thought experiment that weighs the thrill of speed against considerations like environmental impact and cost. Speaking of cost, the operational expenses of the Concorde were enormous. The fuel consumption alone is significantly higher than that of subsonic aircraft. This, combined with maintenance costs, made it a financial challenge for airlines. It's a reminder that cutting-edge technology often comes with hefty expenses, at least initially. However, technological advancements often become more affordable over time. Consider how computers and smartphones were once luxury items, but are now ubiquitous. Perhaps future advancements in aviation technology will make supersonic travel accessible to more people. On the subject of accessibility, let's talk about how aviation has evolved to connect people worldwide. Commercial flights have made it possible for families to reunite, cultures to intermingle, and businesses to expand globally. The Concorde played its part by setting new standards and inspiring innovation. Now, let's lighten the mood with another joke. What did one airplane say to the other during a long flight? I'm feeling a little plain today. Okay, perhaps aviation jokes aren't my forte, but a bit of humor never hurts. As we move forward, consider how air travel might look in the next 50 years. Will we have autonomous planes? Could teleportation become a reality? While some ideas seem far-fetched now, so did the concept of a supersonic passenger jet decades ago. Innovation often starts with a bold idea. I want to express my appreciation once more for everyone who's been part of this live stream. Your engagement makes this experience richer for all of us. If you're enjoying the content, please consider following and sharing it with friends who might be interested. Your support truly makes a difference. To wrap up our exploration, the Concorde remains a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of progress. Its story is filled with triumphs and challenges, serving as both inspiration and a cautionary tale. As we look to the future, we carry forward the lessons learned, striving to create technologies that are not only advanced, but also sustainable and accessible. As we begin our descent toward John F. Kennedy International Airport, I can't help but reflect on some remarkable stories associated with this critical phase of flight aboard the legendary Concorde. The descent and landing weren't just routine procedures. They were filled with innovation, challenges, and moments that have etched themselves into aviation history. These narratives give us a deeper appreciation for this magnificent aircraft and the dedicated professionals who operated it. One of the most fascinating aspects was the process of slowing down from supersonic speeds. Cruising at Mach 2, twice the speed of sound, the Concorde had to reduce speed carefully to ensure a smooth transition to subsonic flight. It wasn't as simple as just throttling back the engines. It required precise coordination and timing. Pilots initiated the deceleration well before reaching the coastline to avoid creating sonic booms over populated areas. They reduced thrust and deployed the aircraft's unique aerodynamic features, like the wing's variable geometry, to manage lift and drag effectively. This brings to mind the unique challenges regarding noise pollution, especially those infamous sonic booms. In the early days, there were real concerns about their impact on communities. To tackle this, flight paths were meticulously planned to minimize overland supersonic travel during descent. Pilots executed gradual turns and altitude changes over the Atlantic, ensuring the aircraft was subsonic by the time it reached the eastern seaboard. This approach showcased not only the technical prowess of the flight, crew, but also their commitment to environmental responsibility. Speaking of pilots, I recall Captain Junsaro Spinetta, a seasoned Air France Concorde pilot, sharing his experiences during the descent into JFK. He talked about the meticulous attention required to manage the aircraft's energy state balancing speed, altitude, and descent rate. Unlike conventional jets, the Concorde's delta wing design meant it handled differently, especially at lower speeds. Pilots had to maintain higher approach speeds to ensure stability, demanding precise control inputs. Captain Spinetta likened it to gliding a finely tuned sports car down a steep mountain road. Weather, of course, played a significant role in the descent phase. The Concorde often flew above the weather at altitudes up to 60,000 feet, but as it descended, it re-entered the realm of atmospheric disturbances. Turbulence, wind shear, and varying air densities required pilots to be extra vigilant. I remember one instance where a Concorde flight encountered unexpected turbulence during descent due to a sudden shift in the jet stream. The crew had to adjust their descent profile promptly, highlighting the importance of adaptability and quick decision-making. Now, the Concorde was equipped with state-of-the-art navigation systems for its time. The descent into JFK utilized the aircraft's inertial navigation system, providing accurate position data without relying on ground signals. This was crucial when transitioning from high-altitude cruise to the complex airspace around New York City. The precision of the ends allowed for smoother descents and better coordination with air traffic control, reducing the risk of delays or holding patterns. Speaking of air traffic control, descending into one of the world's busiest airports required seamless coordination. Controllers had to integrate the Concorde's unique flight characteristics into the flow of conventional air traffic. Its higher speeds and altitudes meant that standard procedures often needed adapting. ATC provided specific vectors and speed adjustments to ensure safe separation from other aircraft. This collaboration was a testament to professional expertise on both sides. On clear days, pilots sometimes opted for a visual approach into JFK, offering passengers stunning views of the New York skyline. This required keen situational awareness and a thorough understanding of the local geography. The descent over the Atlantic provided a panoramic vista as the aircraft approached Long Island, with the cityscape gradually coming into view. For many passengers, this was a highlight of their journey. Seamless blend of technological marvel and natural beauty. One of the Concorde's most distinctive features was its drooped nose, designed to improve pilot visibility during takeoff and landing. During descent, the nose was lowered to 12.5 degrees, allowing pilots to see the runway despite the high angle of attack required for approach. This engineering innovation was crucial for safety and efficiency. The mechanism itself was a complex system of hydraulics and mechanical linkages, reflecting the intricate design philosophy behind the aircraft. Interestingly, there was an occasion when a Concorde flight had a rather unexpected companion. During descent, a small migratory bird found its way into one of the wheel wells while the aircraft was on the ground. Unnoticed during takeoff, the bird survived the supersonic cruise at high altitude. As the aircraft descended and the landing gear was deployed, the crew discovered the stowaway. Ground staff at JFK carefully retrieved the bird upon landing, and it was later released into the wild. This incident highlighted the unexpected encounters that can occur in aviation. In collaboration with scientific organizations, some Concorde flights participated in atmospheric research during descent. Instruments on board collected data on ozone levels, air composition, and other environmental metrics. Descending from the stratosphere to the troposphere provided a unique opportunity to study atmospheric transitions. The data gathered contributed to our understanding of climate science and the effects of high-altitude flight on the environment. The Concorde frequently carried heads of state, celebrities, and business magnates. The descent phase often involved additional protocols when VIPs were on board. Security measures were heightened, and coordination with ground services was meticulously planned. On one notable flight, the Concorde transported diplomats to a critical international summit. The timely and smooth descent into JFK was essential to ensure they arrived on schedule, underscoring the Concorde's role in global affairs. Photographers and aviation enthusiasts cherished the Concorde's arrivals during the golden hour. That period shortly after sunrise or before sunset when the light is particularly beautiful. The descent during this time painted the aircraft in a warm glow, accentuating its sleek lines. Many iconic images of the Concorde were captured during these moments, immortalizing its elegance against the backdrop of the sky and city. Pilots underwent extensive simulator training to perfect the descent and landing procedures. The simulators replicated various scenarios, including adverse weather, equipment failures, and other potential challenges. This rigorous preparation ensured pilots were well equipped to handle any situation, reflecting the aviation industry's commitment to safety and excellence. The descent phase posed unique engineering challenges, particularly regarding heat management. After cruising at high speeds, parts of the aircraft, like the nose and leading edges of the wings, retained significant heat. Engineers designed systems to manage thermal expansion and contraction, preventing structural stress. This attention to detail was crucial for the aircraft's longevity and performance. Given the Concorde's distinctive sonic signature and operating characteristics, maintaining good relations with communities near JFK was important. Airlines engaged with local residents, addressing concerns about noise and environmental impact. Noise abatement procedures during descent were part of these efforts, demonstrating a balance between operational needs and community well-being. The technologies developed for the Concorde's descent influenced future aircraft design. Innovations in flight control systems, aerodynamics, and materials science found applications in both military and civilian aviation. The lessons learned continue to inform the development of next-generation supersonic and hypersonic vehicles. I still remember the final commercial descent of the Concorde into JFK, a moment steeped in emotion. Crew members who had dedicated their careers to the aircraft felt a profound sense of pride and nostalgia. Passengers were keenly aware they were part of history. The descent was executed flawlessly, a fitting tribute to decades of excellence. Upon landing, The aircraft was met with a ceremonial water salute from the airport's fire brigade, marking the end of an iconic chapter in aviation. The Concorde's presence in popular culture often centered around its impressive descents and landings. Films, documentaries, and literature highlighted these moments as symbols of human achievement. Its ability to connect continents swiftly made it a metaphor for globalization and technological progress. Behind every descent were countless individuals who made it possible: engineers, mechanics, air traffic controllers, and support staff. Their dedication ensured each flight was safe and successful. Stories abound of technicians working tirelessly to address last-minute issues or controllers expertly managing complex airspace challenges. The Concorde community was a tight-knit group, united by a passion for aviation. In its later years, the Concorde program included educational initiatives. Schools and universities were invited to learn about the aircraft's technology and operations. During some descents, students on board or on the ground participated in live demonstrations, sparking interest in science and engineering careers. Several aviation milestones occurred during the descent phase of Concorde flights. For instance, the aircraft set records for fastest transatlantic crossings, with descent profiles optimized for speed and efficiency. These achievements were celebrated within the aviation community and recognized by organizations like the Passengers often shared personal anecdotes about their experiences during descent. Some described a subtle feeling of sadness as the flight neared its end, wishing the journey could continue. Others recalled the excitement of seeing the sprawling metropolis of New York come into view, a testament to the Concorde's ability to shrink the world. The Concorde's descent also marked advancements in in-flight communication. Pilots and crew utilized cutting-edge radio and data link systems to stay connected with ground operations. This ensured any updates regarding weather, runway assignments, or gate changes were seamlessly integrated into the flight plan. Efforts were made to reduce the environmental footprint during descent. This included optimizing engine settings to minimize fuel consumption and emissions. Airlines invested in research to understand and mitigate contrail formation, which has implications for climate change. For many, the descent of the Concorde wasn't just a physical transition, but an emotional journey. Pilots felt a profound connection to the aircraft, often describing it as a living entity. The careful orchestration required during descent was like a dance between man and machine, culminating in the graceful act of landing. Today, several Concorde aircraft are preserved in museums around the world. Visitors can explore the cockpit and cabins, gaining insight into the descent procedures through interactive exhibits. These educational resources ensure the knowledge and experiences associated with the Concorde's operations continue to inspire future generations. As we prepare for our own landing at JFK, these stories serve as a tribute to the Concorde's enduring legacy. The descent phase encapsulates what made this aircraft extraordinary: a blend of advanced technology, human ingenuity, and the relentless pursuit of pushing boundaries. It's a reminder that every journey is more than just reaching a destination. It's about the experiences and memories created along the way. Thank you for joining me on this reflective exploration. Let's look forward to a smooth landing and the adventures that await us on the ground. As we continue our descent toward John F. Kennedy International Airport, it's fascinating to consider the myriad of dramatic situations that have unfolded in these very skies. These events, while challenging at the time, have become integral chapters in aviation history, showcasing the resilience, skill, and dedication of pilots, crews, and air traffic controllers. They serve as compelling reminders of the complexities of aviation and the remarkable human capacity to overcome adversity. One particularly poignant story is that of Avianca Flight 52 in January 1990. This Boeing 707 was on a journey from Colombia to New York City, with a scheduled stop due to severe weather conditions and heavy air traffic upon arrival in the New York area. The flight was placed in multiple holding patterns by air traffic control. Communication misunderstandings exacerbated the situation. The flight crew, whose primary language was Spanish, struggled with the nuances of English aviation terminology, particularly in conveying the urgency of their low-fuel situation. Despite declaring an emergency, the gravity of their fuel depletion wasn't fully understood. Tragically, the aircraft exhausted its fuel reserves and crashed in a residential area in Cove Neck, Long Island, during its approach to JFK. This heartbreaking event led to significant changes in aviation communication protocols, emphasizing the need for clearer language proficiency and standardized phraseology to ensure that critical information is accurately conveyed and understood. Another notable incident occurred on June 24, 1975, involving Eastern Airlines Flight 66. The Boeing 727 was on final approach to JFK amid a severe thunderstorm. As the aircraft descended, it encountered a microburst-induced wind shear, sudden, powerful downdraft that can cause rapid changes in wind speed and direction. The pilots faced an abrupt loss of airspeed and altitude, making recovery extremely challenging. Despite their efforts to regain control, the aircraft impacted short of the runway, resulting in the loss of many lives. This tragedy became a catalyst for extensive research into wind shear phenomena. It spurred the development of advanced detection and warning systems, such as Doppler weather radar and wind shear alert systems, which have since been instrumental in enhancing flight safety worldwide. Pilot training programs were also updated to include specific procedures for recognizing and responding to wind shear, significantly reducing the risk of similar accidents in the future. Fast forward to 2012, when a Lufthansa Airbus A38, the world's largest passenger airliner, encountered a bird strike during its approach to JFK. While bird strikes are relatively common and usually result in minor damage, this incident was notable due to the size of the aircraft and the potential risks involved. The collision caused significant damage to one of the engines. The pilots, adhering to strict safety protocols, shut down the affected engine and declared an emergency. With 3 engines remaining, they executed a textbook approach and landing, ensuring the safety of all passengers and crew on board. This event highlighted the effectiveness of multi-engine, redundancy, and the importance of pilot training in handling unexpected situations. In 2017, a China Eastern Airlines Airbus A330 experienced a hydraulic system failure while on approach to JFK. Hydraulic systems are critical for controlling various aircraft functions, including flight controls, landing gear, and brakes. The failure resulted in limited control over these systems, presenting a complex challenge for the flight crew. The pilots communicated the situation to air traffic control and prepared for an emergency landing. Emergency services were deployed, and foam trucks were positioned along the runway as a precaution. The aircraft landed safely, albeit with some difficulty in steering and braking. The incident underscored the robustness of aircraft design, which incorporates multiple redundancies, and the exceptional skill of pilots trained to handle such malfunctions. JFK's proximity to the Atlantic Ocean means that weather conditions can change rapidly, sometimes leading to dramatic situations during landings. In the winter of 2018, a powerful nor'easter brought heavy snowfall and gusting winds to the region. A regional jet attempting to land faced near whiteout conditions. Visibility was severely reduced, and the runway surface was slick with snow and ice. The pilots, recognizing the increased risk, opted to initiate a go-around maneuver to abort the landing and climb back to a safe altitude for another approach. This decision required split-second judgment and precise control of the aircraft. After coordinating with air traffic control and assessing the conditions, they diverted to an alternate airport where the weather was more favorable. This incident exemplified the critical importance of pilot discretion and the priority of safety over schedule adherence. Air traffic controllers at JFK are tasked with managing one of the most complex and busiest airspaces in the world. Their role becomes even more challenging during emergencies. In one instance, a transatlantic flight approaching JFK lost communication due to a radio malfunction. The pilots could receive transmissions, but were unable to transmit responses. Utilizing established procedures for communication failures, the pilots squawked the appropriate transponder code, alerting controllers to the issue. Air traffic control then coordinated with other aircraft in the vicinity to relay messages to the affected flight. Through this collaborative effort, the flight was guided safely to landing. This situation highlighted the effectiveness of contingency protocols and the importance of teamwork in maintaining safety. Technological advancements have significantly enhanced safety, but have also introduced new complexities. The introduction of the next-gen air transportation system aimed to modernize air traffic control through satellite-based navigation and advanced communications. During the transition phase, pilots and controllers had to adapt to new procedures and technologies. In one case, an aircraft's onboard navigation system misinterpreted a data input error, leading to a deviation from the assigned approach path. Air traffic controllers promptly identified the anomaly and issued corrective instructions. The incident emphasized the need for vigilance, even as technology becomes more sophisticated, and it reinforced the importance of human oversight in automated systems. Another dramatic event involved a cargo aircraft carrying hazardous materials. During its descent into JFK, the crew detected smoke in the cargo hold. The presence of flammable or reactive substances elevated the risk significantly. The pilots declared an emergency and expedited their approach. Emergency response teams were alerted, and specialized firefighting units were prepared. The aircraft landed safely, and the smoke was contained without incident. This situation showcased the stringent regulations and procedures in place for transporting dangerous goods and the effectiveness of emergency response coordination. The challenge of bird strikes has been a persistent issue at airports worldwide. JFK, situated along migratory paths, is particularly susceptible. Efforts to mitigate this risk include wildlife management programs that monitor bird activity and employ deterrent measures. In one noteworthy incident, a departing flight reported a significant bird strike that damaged multiple engines. The aircraft immediately returned to JFK, and the pilots executed a safe landing following the event. Airport authorities intensified wildlife management efforts, including habitat modification and advanced radar detection systems to track bird movements, thereby enhancing safety for future flights. Human factors play a critical role in aviation safety. Crew resource management. CRM is a training methodology that emphasizes communication, teamwork, and decision-making among crew members. There was an incident where a co-pilot noticed an unusual reading on an instrument during approach, but hesitated. 2. Challenge the captain's assessment. The situation escalated, leading to a near-miss incident. This event led to a renewed focus on CRM training, encouraging all crew members to speak up and contribute their observations, regardless of rank, to ensure collective situational awareness and safety. In terms of ground operations, runway incursions pose significant risks during landing and taxiing. JFK's complex layout requires precise navigation to avoid unauthorized entry onto active runways. In one case, a miscommunication led to a ground vehicle crossing a runway as an aircraft was landing. The air traffic controller quickly intervened, instructing the aircraft to execute a go-around, thus averting a potential catastrophe. This incident resulted in enhanced training for ground personnel and the implementation of additional safety measures, such as improved signage and runway status lights, to prevent future occurrences. The integration of foreign carriers with differing operational procedures adds another layer of complexity. cultural differences in cockpit management styles and adherence to standard operating procedures can impact safety. An incident involving a foreign carrier highlighted discrepancies in approach speed management. Air traffic controllers noticed the aircraft was approaching faster than normal and issued instructions to adjust speed. The pilots complied, and the landing proceeded without incident. This scenario emphasized the importance of harmonizing international aviation standards and ensuring that all carriers operating into JFK adhered to established protocols. Advancements in meteorological forecasting have greatly improved flight planning. However, sudden weather phenomena like microbursts or wind shear can still surprise even the most prepared crews. In response to these challenges, technologies such as terminal Doppler weather radar have been installed to provide real-time data on wind patterns. Pilots receive immediate alerts, allowing them to adjust their approach or initiate a go-around if necessary. The integration of these systems has significantly reduced weather-related incidents during landing. In-flight entertainment systems, while enhancing passenger experience, have occasionally caused distractions during critical phases of flight. Regulations now require that such systems are secured or disabled during takeoff and landing to ensure passengers can focus on safety instructions and be prepared for any sudden maneuvers or instructions from the crew. Cybersecurity has emerged as a modern concern in aviation. While there have been no confirmed cases of cyber attacks affecting aircraft during landing, the potential risks have prompted the industry to implement robust security measures. Aircraft systems are designed with multiple layers of protection, and crews are trained to recognize and respond to any anomalies that might indicate interference. The human element extends to passengers as well. Disruptive passenger behavior can create challenging situations during landing. There was an incident where an unruly passenger attempted to access the cockpit during descent. The cabin crew, trained in de-escalation techniques, managed to restrain the individual without causing alarm to other passengers. The flight landed safely, and authorities took appropriate action upon arrival. This event highlighted the importance of crew training in handling security threats and maintaining order in the cabin. Fatigue management for flight crews is a critical safety consideration. Long-haul flights, irregular schedules, and time zone changes can impact alertness. Airlines implement strict duty time regulations and provide rest facilities to mitigate fatigue. In one instance, a flight crew nearing the end of their allowable duty period faced unexpected delays due to congestion at JFK. Rather than push beyond safe limits, they communicated their situation to the airline's operations center, and a rested relief crew was dispatched to complete the flight. This proactive approach reinforces the industry's commitment to safety over operational pressures. Environmental sustainability is an increasing focus in aviation. Initiatives to reduce carbon emissions and noise pollution influence operational decisions, including landing procedures. The use of continuous descent operations allows aircraft to descend at idle or near-idle thrust settings, reducing fuel burn and noise. Implementing CDO at a busy airport like JFK requires precise timing and coordination, but offers environmental benefits and cost savings. Airspace congestion remains a challenge, particularly during peak travel times. Innovative solutions like performance-based navigation, PBN, utilize satellite technology to allow for more efficient routing and spacing of aircraft. This technology enhances safety by reducing the likelihood of conflicts and allows for smoother approaches and landings. Even in congested airspace, training simulators have become increasingly sophisticated, providing pilots with realistic scenarios that include rare but critical situations. These simulators replicate system failures, adverse weather conditions, and other challenges that may occur during landing. Regular training ensures that pilots maintain proficiency in handling emergencies, contributing to overall flight safety. Language proficiency among pilots and air traffic controllers is crucial for effective communication. The International Civil Aviation Organization mandates English language proficiency standards. JFK, being a global hub, often handles flights with crews for whom English is a second language. Ongoing training and the use of standardized phraseology help mitigate misunderstandings, ensuring clear communication during all phases of flight. The introduction of new aircraft types requires adaptation by all stakeholders. When the Airbus A380 began operations into JFK, the airport had to make infrastructure adjustments to accommodate its size, including widening taxiways and reinforcing pavement. Air traffic controllers received training on the aircraft's unique performance, characteristics to manage its integration into the traffic flow effectively. Emergency medical situations on board can necessitate expedited landings. In one case, a passenger suffered a severe allergic reaction during descent. The flight crew, after consulting with medical professionals via radio, requested priority landing clearance. Emergency medical teams were standing by upon arrival, providing immediate care. This incident underscores the critical importance of coordination between the flight crew, air traffic control, and ground services to ensure swift responses to medical emergencies. Technological failures in ground-based navigation aids can also impact landings. An outage in an instrument landing system requires pilots to use alternative approaches, such as GPS-based systems or visual approaches, depending on weather conditions. Pilots are trained to adapt to such situations, but it adds complexity, especially during low visibility conditions. The growing prevalence of laser pointers aimed at aircraft poses a serious risk during landing. Pilots can be temporarily blinded or distracted by these lasers. There have been multiple reports at JFK of laser incidents, prompting law enforcement to take stringent measures against perpetrators. Public awareness campaigns aim to educate about the dangers and legal consequences of shining lasers at aircraft. Another area of concern is wake turbulence from large aircraft. When a smaller aircraft follows a larger one too closely, it can encounter turbulent air that affects stability. Air traffic controllers manage separation distances to mitigate this risk. There was an incident where a small private jet experienced significant turbulence during approach due to wake from a preceding heavy aircraft. The pilot managed to maintain control and landed safely, but the event highlighted the need for vigilance in maintaining appropriate spacing. Advancements in materials science have led to the use of composite materials in aircraft construction, while offering benefits like reduced weight and improved fuel efficiency. They require specialized maintenance procedures. An incident involving a composite material aircraft revealed the need for updated repair techniques after sustaining damage during a hard landing. The industry continues to evolve maintenance practices to address these new challenges. In the realm of passenger experience, the implementation of biometric screening and expedited customs processes at JFK has improved efficiency, but also introduced new considerations for privacy and data security. Balancing the need for security with respect for individual rights remains an ongoing dialogue in the aviation community. As we approach our destination, it's worth acknowledging the layers of safety, technology, and human expertise that ensure successful landings. Each dramatic situation faced at JFK and elsewhere contributes to a collective learning process. The aviation industry is characterized by continuous improvement, where lessons learned are translated into enhanced protocols, training, and technologies. The stories of pilots skillfully handling emergencies, air traffic controllers managing complex scenarios, and crews maintaining composure under pressure are testaments to the dedication of those who work in aviation. Their commitment ensures that air travel remains one of the safest modes of transportation. As passengers, we may not always be aware of the intricacies involved in bringing a flight to a safe landing, especially in a bustling hub like JFK. Yet, every landing is the culmination of meticulous planning, coordination, and execution by a network of professionals dedicated to our safety and comfort. Thank you for accompanying me on this exploration of the dramatic and inspiring moments that have shaped aviation at JFK. These stories remind us of the incredible capabilities of human ingenuity and teamwork. Let's look forward to a smooth landing and the opportunities that await us on the ground. All right, folks. We're about 3 minutes out from touching down at JFK Airport, and I have to say, this virtual Concorde flight has been nothing short of exhilarating. Flying at twice the speed of sound, and now descending into one of the world's busiest airports. It's a thrill that never gets old, even in the virtual skies. As we make our final approach, I thought it'd be fun to share some last-minute tidbits and maybe answer any burning questions you might have. You know, the Concorde was more than just a plane. It was a symbol of innovation and luxury. Imagine sipping champagne while cruising at Mach 2, watching the curvature of the Earth out your window. It's wild to think about how, decades ago, people were making transatlantic trips in just over 3 hours, even virtually. It's a reminder of what human ingenuity can achieve. As we're lining up with the runway, take a look at that stunning view of the New York skyline. The sun is just starting to set, casting a golden hue over the skyscrapers. It's moments like these that make you appreciate the blend of technology and natural beauty. Flying into JFK is always a treat because of the iconic landmarks you get to see on the way down. I want to give a quick shout out to everyone who's joined the stream today. Your enthusiasm makes these flights so much more enjoyable. If you're new here and liking the journey so far, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow and brings more virtual adventures your way. Now, speaking of adventures, did you know that pilots landing at JFK have to be exceptionally skilled due to the complex airspace and frequent traffic congestion? It's like a well-choreographed dance, with air traffic controllers and pilots working in sync to ensure everything goes smoothly. Even a small delay or miscommunication can have a ripple effect, so teamwork is absolutely crucial. We're about 2 minutes from landing now. You might notice we're making some slight adjustments. This is all part of the fine-tuning that goes into a perfect landing. The Concorde, with its delta wings and unique design, requires a higher angle of attack during landing compared to other aircraft. That means the nose is pointed higher, which is why they had that famous droop nose, to improve visibility for the pilots. If you're enjoying this and want to support the channel, consider becoming a member or checking out the merch store. We've got some cool aviation-themed gear that I think you'll love. Every bit of support goes back into making these streams better and bringing you more high-fidelity virtual flights. All right, less than a minute to go. You can almost feel the anticipation, can't you? The runway lights are clearly in view now, and we're aligned perfectly. Fun fact, JFK has one of the longest runways in the United States, which made it a suitable airport for Concorde operations back in the day. That extra length was necessary because the Concorde landed at higher speeds than typical airliners. As we're seconds away, let's all take a moment to appreciate the marvel of flight. Even in a simulator, the level of detail and realism we can experience is astounding. The sound of the engines throttling down, the sight of the runway rushing up to meet USIT's immersive experiences, like this, that bring us together as a community of aviation enthusiasts. Touchdown, smooth as silk. The thrust reversers are engaged, and we're decelerating comfortably. That's one of the best feelings, isn't it? Knowing you've completed a journey and everything went off without a hitch. Kudos to our virtual flight crew for a job well done. While we taxi to the gate, I just want to say how much I appreciate each and every one of you for being part of this experience. Your comments, questions, and support make these streams a highlight of my day. If there's anything you'd like to see in future, flights may be a different aircraft, or destination, drop your suggestions in the chat or the comments below. Also, if you haven't already, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It helps other people discover the stream and join our growing community. And if you're feeling extra generous, super chats and donations are always welcome, but never expected. Your presence here is the biggest gift. Let's see a replay. Didn't that plane look great? The Concorde, like the Peregrine Falcon, had a drop nose that allowed for better aerodynamics. We're approaching the gate now, and ground crew is ready to receive us. It's incredible how detailed these simulations have become. Even the ground operations add to the overall experience. Once we're parked, I'll stick around for a bit to chat and answer any questions you might have. Before we wrap up, I wanted to share that we're planning a special stream next week. Virtual tour of the Airbus A380. The world's largest passenger airliner. It's going to be epic, and I hope you all can join me for that. Keep an eye on the channel for the scheduled time. All right, engines are off, and the virtual seatbelt sign is turned off. Feel free to stretch your legs. Thank you all so much for flying along today. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing this journey with you. Until next time, keep the blue side up and have a fantastic day.